What's up, what's up? Welcome back to the Rat Cave. It's Ratzi here for DJKit, and today, look at the bad boy I've got in front of me. This is, of course, the brand new Rane 4 DJ controller. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This is the second time that I've filmed this video. The first time that I filmed it was on the Serato beta. It was okay, but it wasn't ideal. So I have now waited for the official, well, the second official release of this Rane 4 controller. So the public sort of full version of Serato is out now. And in the first video, when I was rewatching it and I was editing it, this Rane 4 is so much fun. Like the features that you can do on it, and like you can literally just get lost for hours and hours mixing on this thing using the new features that they've put into it and all the new effects and the stem split and all this stuff. So in my first video that I filmed, I kind of went too far into it, I feel, and I was like, look, I'm gonna film this again and I'm gonna keep it nice and simple for everybody. I'm gonna go over like the main features in this which really stand out for me, and then perhaps in the future I will break it down into and delve deeper into those features and give you proper examples on how to use them in your mix. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this Rane 4 is the first ever dedicated Serato controller for stems. Stems has been around for a little while now. You know, we've seen mashups to death on stems, but it never, me as a mashup DJ, I've been a mashup DJ for 15 years, but before I had to use instrumentals and acapellas that were pre-separated, obviously with stems. It does it within the software. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I'm aware that it's been around for a while, and I'm also aware that it's been around, available on other DJ softwares. Don't you virtual DJ bods ever let us forget it. But this is the first ever controller which is actually dedicated to that stems feature in Serato. And I have to say that this is an absolute game changer. Like, it doesn't matter what genre of music you mix in, or whether or not you are a dedicated open format sort of mashup DJ or whatever. If you're a house DJ, you're a drum and bass DJ, the things that you can do on this Rane 4 are so powerful. So yeah, stems has been around for a little while now, but of course to use it on your DJ controller, you had to go into Serato settings and assign it to one of the pad modes. So you would lose one of the pad modes on your controller or mixer or whatever you're using with Serato. But this Rane 4 has now got a dedicated stems pad mode. It's the fourth one along over here. Of course, just quickly while we're on the pad modes, we've got hot cue roll, sampler, stems, and then the secondary are pitch play, save loop, scratch bank, and slicer. But yeah, you've got a dedicated stems pad mode over here now. We all know what stems does by now, surely, but what I'm quickly going to do is just show you. So that's the tune, just playing. You go to stems, you can take out the drums, you can take out the bass, you can take out the melody and just have the acapella. Or of course, the different combos of it, you can just have the melody and the bass, the drums, just have the bass and the drums, etc. Just have the drums. So that is how stems works. It breaks up your tune into vocal, melody, bass, or drums. So literally stripping it down, perfect for mashups. So as I say, you can do that you can map that to any Serato controller these days. But what this Rane 4 has got, this is the first time that we've seen this, is 3 different ways to manipulate your tune with the stems feature. You've got the stems pad mode, which I just showed you down there. You've also now got a dedicated acapella and instrumental buttons down here. So again, we go back into this tune, I can just hit acapella. There you go, that is your tune, just the acapella, or instrumental, that is just the instrumental with the acapella taken out. And I just want to say at this point, right, which I don't know if, like, I think with stems, everybody just kind of assumes that you can only be using it in an open format way or whatever. With this function here, or even, doing it in the pad mode where you just take out the vocal, this is instant karaoke, man. So like, for all of you kind of mobile DJs out there and stuff, I know that a lot of you do karaoke. I do not do karaoke. I don't sing it or sort of give it to people as an option when I DJ their parties or whatever. But, you know, if you've got a tune which somebody wants to sing karaoke to, you put it through Stems, hit that a cappella button, you've got an instant instrumental of that song for someone to sing karaoke over. So the third and final way that you can manipulate the Stems feature on this Rane 4, this is the first time that I've ever seen this before. This is such a mind-blowing bit of technology. Like, if I think back to sort of my early days of DJing, like I said before, mixing with instrumentals and acapellas, like sort of pre-separated, the fact that you can now do this on this controller is just crazy. What the stem split does, so I've got this tune playing on channel 1 right now, right? What the stem split does is it separates, like down here where you've got the acapella and the instrumental, it splits the tune up into acapella and instrumental, but it puts the acapella on channel 1 and the instrumental on channel 3. So that's now split. So the acapella on channel 1, the instrumental on channel 3. So obviously if you've got them both up, then your full tune is playing. If you've got one of them down, then, you know, the other one is not playing and everything like that. So this is a phenomenal new feature. You know, this is like the feature in itself, just splitting instrumental and acapella over the two channels. That's all good. That's one thing, right? And especially a lot of you who might have watched my mashup reels and stuff like that, you know, I love sort of mixing like this. I mean, it's all good sort of taking out the parts of the tune over here on stems, but I'm more of a hands-on kind of guy. You know, I like being able to drop, you know, that kind of vibe. But not only does it let you cut the acapella in the instrumental using the channel faders, of course, because it gets split onto the two channels, you can EQ separately the acapella and the instrumental. So for example, I can take the low out, boost up the mid, take out a bit of the high on that acapella, or like, you know, if maybe I want to take out those shakers like on the instrumental. You know, this is like an old school way to EQ a song, you know, like literally like in mastering, sort of in studio mastering and stuff. You can, obviously, you've got your 3-band EQ on this mixer, 4-channel mixer, by the way, 3-band EQ for every channel. But not only that, you've also now got these dedicated 4-channel effects. These are, by the way, for Serato. So these are software effects, these 4 knobs here. But, you know, you can use, so again, if we go back into this here, so I can put the filter on just the acapella and filter out the acapella while the instrumental's playing, or, you know, take out the, like, filter out or whatever, or we've got a filter roll. Just to say about the filter roll, you need to find the sweet spot on that. I haven't really been able to use it very well, if I'm honest. But you've got noise or the flanger. So, you know, you can, that was me just using those channel effects on the instrumental of this song. And this is exactly what I was talking about at the start of this video, saying about the first time that I shot this video and just how I felt like it was a bit too complicated because of the amount of sort of combos that you can do and stuff like that. And I don't mean that this Rane 4 controller is complicated to use at all. You can just, it's just mind-blowing, like the amount of creativity that this unlocks. Something to note about this stem split is whenever you use it, the acapella always goes on channel 1 or channel 2. So it's always channel 1 when you're over this side, the acapella on channel 1, the instrumental on channel 3, and then over this side, acapella on channel 2, instrumental on channel 4, and luckily there are icons underneath here, so you've got microphones under 1 and 2, and the little piano keyboard under 3 and 4. And actually, once my sort of brain remembered that, it became less scary to be manipulating like the acapellas and stuff like that. And when I say about manipulating the acapellas, it's because you can do this. So we're in stem split mode. Let's get this tune going. So Acapella's on channel 1, instrumental's on channel 3, right? They are currently stuck together in this stem split mode. But what I can do over here with the deck select is if I select channel 1, which of course is where my acapella is, so if you just seen what I did there, you can literally only manipulate channel 1 because of course your channel 1 is your acapella, or what I could have been doing is, let's play it again in the stem split mode. So if I go onto channel 3 instead, then I can right? Obviously that wasn't as good as the first example because I didn't get it on a drop of the instrumental. But, you know, again, the creativity of being able to do that, you can manipulate the acapella over the top of the instrumental, vice versa. But if you do then want them back in time again, right, then you just hit this stem split mode and then it puts them, sticks them back together in time. Something to note about this as well is when you are doing that and you're playing with let's say the acapella, scratching the acapella, every time that you hit that stem split button again and it locks them back together, it will always move the instrumental back to where the acapella is. So actually another clever way to get out of that stem split mode without having to jump the instrumental up is so, you know, say I've been so now I'm only on the acapella over here. I can drop the acapella, but if I take this out, because the acapella is, it's almost like the same as instant doubles, to be fair. So like, imagine if I've just instant doubled that same tune onto channel 1 and to channel 3, but channel 3 is only using the instrumental, channel 1 is only using the acapella. So, you know, if it's like that, and then I take the acapella off, then of course it goes back to being both the acapella and the instrumental, aka the full song. Now a little hack actually when it comes to sort of scratching the acapella and stuff with this stem split mode is, of course, when you turn slip mode on, you know, you can be scratching around or doing whatever you want to do on one of the channels, and then the tune with slip mode on always jumps back to where it should be anyway. So you can do that on just the acapella on channel 1. So let's go over here. So here we go. Got the acapella on channel 1. If I go channel 1 up here, turn slip mode on. I mean, you know, that wasn't ideal, but you can see what I'm talking about. So obviously with the slip mode, you can play around with it as much as you want, and then it will still jump to where it should be, and the two, acapella and instrumental, will be in time. So look, at the risk of literally jabbering on about the stems and that kind of thing, because I totally could do it, I'm now going to move on and let's talk about the effects on this Rane 4. So kind of touched on it earlier, but your channel effects are up here, and as I said, these are Serato effects, but the filter actually, when you're using this Rane 4 with external hardware, so like turntables or media players or whatever, because this is a standalone mixer, you can do that. The filter does actually work with external hardware, but the filter roll, the noise and the flanger, they are Serato software effects. So, you know, not the end of the world. Nice to have the filter in standalone mode, but look, talking about sort of software effects, you know, this was maybe one of the things which people weren't overly keen on about the Rane 1, was that all of the effects on the Rane 1 were software effects, so you had to use them all in Serato. This Rane 4 has got built-in effects on it, right? But not just like a few built-in effects, 22 built-in hardware effects on this Rane 4. So fully doing like a deep dive into the effects on this Rane 4 is 100% a whole new video in itself. Hopefully I'll be able to do that video in the future, but I just want to touch on like not only the fact that there's 22 effects, right, which is more than enough, but the stuff that you can do to those effects and like the different combinations and stuff like that. It makes it even bigger. So like, for example, let's get this going again. So we'll use the echo as an example here, right? Let me just get this on a loop. So that, by the way, is the auto loop section down there. So right, we've got the echo. So this is where your parameter button is. So with this, you can change, that's the high pass frequency cut currently on that. So I've got that on 4,000, but let's take that down to 748 Hertz. Then if I press that again, you've got the amount of feedback that you want on your echo. Put that at 70, and then up here you've got the level depth, so how much of the effect you want in the tune. And then obviously turning it on, you've got the Rane paddles, which are legendary. I mean, I'm a battle mixer guy. My muscle memory is now hitting paddles. I much prefer doing that to sort of effects buttons these days, but so I've got it, as you can see here, assigned to channel 1, but of course that would be on channel 3, and then over here channel 2 and channel 4, because there are only 2 paddles for the 4 channels. But so back to channel 1. So this is the echo. But so you've got the parameter knob over here, which I just showed you does the high pass filter and the frequency, but and the feedback. Sorry. But then over here you've got this little joystick, which does the size of the beat. So like, you know, an echo normally sounds best on 1, but you can change it to, so down will change, so this is a half now, or a third. So nice to have the third sort of beat, signature beats in here, by the way. 1/4, and then an eighth. You can go all the way down to 1/32, 1/32 of a beat, and then you can obviously go all the way up again to 1/16. But as well over here, so you can flip between the BPM. So what this kind of does is, for example, if you are playing a tune on 115 over here like I am, or this song over here is 109, you won't be able to see this on the overhead, but you've got 2 different BPMs. I'm gonna have to cut some B-roll here. You've got 2 BPMs, so you've got 115 over here, or you've got 109 over here. So kind of what this does is it's almost like a channel assign for which a channel you're putting the effects on, because obviously you want when you're playing over on this 115, you want it selected on the 115, and then when you're playing on the 109 over here, you want it on 109. But yeah, so that is like, that's using the echo as an example. But you can customize all the other 22 effects in here in all different ways. Like another one of the things that you've got, the way to customize this as well. All right, so look, let's change this echo to something else, right? So if we change the echo to the pumper, right? So press the parameter button down, which is the effect select. So I've now changed this echo to pumper. Let's see what that sounds like. It's literally just like a pumping sidechain, aptly named pumper. Right, so but I'm going to change that back to echo by doing that. While we're here, guys, let's go over and check out the rest of these effects here. So we've got the recycler. I mean, to be honest, for me, that just sounds like an echo. Look, the scale down. This is hands down probably like my favorite new effect on this Rane 4. I'm not gonna lie, we've seen a similar effect on other controllers, let's say, but so you can change the scale of this, major or minor, and obviously So let's keep it on major, but you can go major, whole, penta, minor, or major. So then, but playing with this on different different kind of like beat parameters. You know, it's just, like I said, we've seen it on other controllers. It was my standout favorite effect on the DDJ Rev 7. So it's great to have like Rane's equivalent of it over here. Right, let's quickly go to the riser. Actually, I remember this riser now. I just do not know where I would be using that. So let's change the length to like 4 and change the beat to a half, see if it sounds any better. Yeah, see, like, I don't really know, maybe build-ups of like using that on the acapella, like build-ups before drops or something like that, but that's not really me. The Matrix. So, you know, that's kind of like a bit crusher. You know, yeah, a little bit like a bit crusher. And then finally the echo out. You know, the beauty of the echo out is, of course, when you're using the echo, normally you post fader it and drop the fader down, but with the echo out, you just, and it just echoes out the tune for as long as you've got the paddle on locked up there. Worth saying actually is at this point as well is, of course, the same as like the majority of these sort of battle mixers with the paddles. You can either lock on your effect or you can one time hit it by, so that's really cool on the scale down. And then of course, you know, with these built-in effects, you can double them up with the channel effects as well. So it's so cool the way that you can customize all of these settings. But what you can do as well is you can save your settings as well by, so, you know, if we go over to echo again here, if I change the echo to a flanger and then I press this, now if I press and hold this, then effect save, there it is. So now that echo is always going to be a flanger whenever I turn this on. Obviously I can always change it back to the echo by pressing the button, going back, selecting echo, and then pressing and holding this echo button again, effect saved, now it's back to echo. So, you know, 22 hardware effects, or main effects they're called on this Rane 4, but also you can switch between hardware effects or software effects by hitting this button. Now these are all of course Serato effects which you can customize in Serato. To be honest, I say this about a lot of controllers, if the hardware effects are good enough, like they are on this Rane 4, you don't even need the software effects. But of course, nice to have that option if you've got all of your favorites in there. Now, just to say about this little screen as well, if you hit shift, then you can get your utilities menu. So you've got stuff like the crossfader curve, the microphone, the wheel display, all that kind of stuff. So actually that brings me on quite nicely onto the jog wheels. Let's talk about them for a second. Now, of course, when this was announced, one of the big hoo-has about it was that this doesn't have moving platters. The Rane 1 has moving platters and, you know, people definitely expected this to have moving platters. Let me just tell you, right, I love the Rane 1 and I love the Rev 7, but I jump between using turntables or CDJs. You know, it depends where I am, it depends what is available. But let me tell you something about these jog wheels. I have to call them jog wheels rather than platters, even though they do look like platters on this Rane 4. These feel so good. Honestly, like, and especially, there's not even a jog adjust on these, which you would think that Rane would have put one on, because it's like, but they're so confident in the user feedback on this when they were doing their research. And to be fair play to them, this doesn't need a jog adjust. I mean, I know that it's courses for horses and everyone likes something different when it comes to their jog wheels, but for me, these are so good. They're like, the tension on them, it's not too much, it's not too, they're not too flimsy, but you know, honestly, like you're gonna have to play on them yourself. They feel so good, and I'm not sure why they put the turntable style around the outside, but it's not that big a deal. Like for when it comes to nudging and stuff like that, I think that this is such a good happy medium between a turntable platter and like, you know, a controller platter or a CDJ platter or whatever. Like they're really nice for nudging, but if that's not your thing, you've also got the pitch bend under here, which of course slows down and speeds up the tune as well. So let's get the old trusty out. I know you guys love this. So Rane do say that these are 8.5 inches, which I guess they are in total, but the top is actually 7 inches. So like the top of this is like a, you know, 45 record, the same as the Rane 1, the same as the Rev 7. But, you know, you've got this like turntable, it's like a mini turntable platter that doesn't spin. I know that sounds really weird, but that's got absolutely no gripe from me at all. You do, of course, have the in-jog displays, which shows you the waveform, BPM, how big your beat jump is, the time elapsed, which deck you're on, which key you're in, you know, the kind of the important stuff in there. It's not too crowded. At the moment, I don't think that you can customize that, but I'm sure that that will be available if needed, you know, on future updates or whatever. So speaking of displays, I know that I touched on the pad modes earlier, but you've got these little OLED displays on this Rane 4, which is such a nice touch, man. It tells you literally like the details of like where your hot cues are, like which, I haven't got any samples in, of course I don't, but you know, it tells you which samples you've got in there, which roll, how big your roll is and stuff like that. So, you know, and just stuff like, again, with the stems, it tells you which you should know already really by now, but you've got vocal, melody or bass across there. But then you've also, of course, got the stems effects on the pads underneath. So you've got vocal echo, instrumental echo, instrumental breaker, drums echo out. But it tells you that on the screen, and like, it's just stuff like that. I always say I'm always really welcome of features on controllers which take you away from having your face in your laptop, you know. So the pads themselves, they're really, really nice. You know, of course, In Music, who own Rane, also own Akai. So you've got those high quality performance pads. But one of the fantastic things about these pads is that you've got split pad modes. So, you know, you can have your hot cue, but also you can have your stems mode. So, I mean, being able to have your hot cues on top of your stems when you're getting so creative with this kind of thing, and being able to, you know, take out just the vocal or the melody and just have the bass or the drums or however you're using this, like, I mean, it's just, again, sorry for the whackness on that, but it's so good to be able to split. But with these OLED screens as well, it tells you, you know, the time of your hot cue on the top half of the screen, and then also which part of the stems you've got on the bottom half of the screen, you know. So it's just, there is so much stuff going on this Rane 4 that you can get a little bit like, whoa. But it's stuff like that that makes it less scary to mix on. You know, little stuff, like I said, about like having the stem split icons down here, so that you always remember that actually the acapella is always on that channel and the instrumentals on that one. And it's just, yeah, it's such a powerful controller. So look, I'm gonna try and conclude here. This Rane 4, it's a big boy, right? But it's not as heavy as you would think. It does have the Rane metal faceplate on it, but actually, the Rane 1 is heavier than this, and that's probably because of, you know, the motorized platter and having all of that sort of within the controller itself. But in terms of build quality, it's got that Rane build quality. It feels absolutely phenomenal. So it's portable. You've got the 4-channel mixer with the phono or line switchable on channels 3 and 4. So as I said earlier, you know, turntables or media players in there. The mixer is DVS ready, but it doesn't come with that. You're going to have to upgrade your Serato if you want to be using turntables in DVS mode on this. But this controller is a hardware unlock for Serato DJ Pro and Serato Pitch and Time. So, you know, with the current way that every DJ software is going to be fair with like subscriptions and stuff like that. As long as you've got this plugged into your Serato, it's going to unlock Serato DJ Pro and Pitch and Time. Finally, the sound card on this thing is the same as all of Rane's sort of high-end stuff, the 72, the Rane 1, you know, they've all got that same sound card, so the sound quality is absolutely wicked. So real quick one on the ins and outs on this controller. You've got two USBs, which as always, you know, perfect for back-to-back. The main out is XLR, but you've also got a RCA main out as well, and you've got stereo or phono switchable on that. The booth is a 1/4 inch jack, which is a touch, I have to say, because the booth out on the Rane 1 was an XLR, which funnily enough, actually a lot of people didn't like. Then of course you've got the phono line inputs on channels 4 and 3. You've got your ground cable to level out your turntables. And it's got two microphone inputs as well. And in fact, real quick one on the microphone. So mic 1, the controls for mic 1 is here. You've got 2-band EQ, you've got high, low, or you've got an echo there. And also, I believe that this has got a talk over. Yeah, there it is, a talk over up there. The mic 2 is slightly stripped back. It's at the front, the controls for this one. But you've still got a high and low 2-band EQ there. And then you've just got a level and then the mic switch on and off. So there's no talk over on mic 2. Lastly, while on the front as well, this is where you've got all of your crossfader controls. So you've got a contour control in the middle, and then obviously your crossfader assign for all 4 channels. And then the headphones are over here on the right hand side. You've got 3.5 inch and a 1/4 inch jack headphones with split Q options. And you've got mix or Q knob, and then obviously your level is your headphone volume. So just to conclude here then, this Rane 4 is honestly probably the most creative controller that I've ever played on. And one more time, big up to InMusic for letting me keep it for this long. Like, I've had so much fun using this. It's like, you can literally just spend hours on it with the different combinations of the effects, you know, splitting the acapella and the instrumental, but then using the effects just on the acapella or just on the instrumental, and like mashing tunes up across, like being able to split the songs up and stuff like that. It's just, you'll never ever play a boring DJ set if you're using this Rane 4 to its full potential. It's built like a tank. The jog wheels feel amazing. You've got Mag 4 crossfader as well. Like, honestly, there's not much bad stuff to say about this Rane 4. And even though there is so much going on with this controller, the little bits like the OLED screens and the icons down here make it sort of, you can literally see what you're doing so that you're not going to get confused. I mean, I'm not going to say that this Rane 4 is going to make you not clang your mixes, as I proved earlier in my examples, but like, you know, it's not as intimidating as you may think. So look guys, I'm going to leave it there. The only thing that I can sort of say about this Rane 4 is that if you get the chance to go and have a play on one, make sure that you clear like at least a few hours or like half an afternoon or something to go and do so, because you won't want to get off of it. Anyway, look, let me know what you think of this Rane 4 in the comments section. As I say, I will try and delve a little bit deeper into some of the sort of features on this in future videos. But for the time being, let me know what's your favorite feature. Would you have liked to have seen anything on this that it doesn't have? You know, what do you think of this over some other controllers that are out on the market that are like similar 4 channels? Let me know in the comments, guys. As always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the DJKit YouTube channel, and share this video with anyone who you think might find it useful. Until next time, you take care out there. Peace.